Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Frank Farr down here in Katy, Texas, and beside me is my beautiful wife. What's your name again?
Donna,
Donna
you
Farr.
know me.
Okay. Uh, we've been knowing each other now for about 47 years. So, anyhow, we spend a lot of time together. We have a wonderful young lady that is spending time with us this afternoon, honoring us with her time and her testimony. Miss Tami Goldstein. Would you, how are you today, Tammy?
I'm great. Congratulations on 47 years. We just celebrated 46, so we're in the same
Right,
Thank
right,
category.
you.
right in there
Awesome,
with us.
awesome,
Good deal.
great.
Let me say this. First of all, we're not doctors, so we do not diagnose or treat, prescribe for any disease or condition. And we're just sharing our experience with the patches. And since everyone's body is different, your experience may be different as well. So, Miss Tammy, tell us what they've done for you.
Actually, it allowed me to continue to work. I really started this because as a cranial sacral therapist, I'm using my hands every day. And I really had some arthritis issues that was deforming my hand so bad it couldn't lay flat on the table. And by the end of the day, I was in a lot of pain. I also had some issues with my knee, but my hand was really the reason. So I started just with X39. And the first thing I noticed was my knee pain went away within hours.
Mm.
Wow.
Um, I will say that my hand took longer. I will tell you that it's not 100%, but it is easily probably 90% improved.
Wow.
Um, I no longer have the chronic discomfort in my hands that I did from working. And I kept at it because I was afraid, oh, if I stop, I don't want to regress. But the longer I stayed on it, I noticed that other things would happen. For instance, my eyesight improved.
Mhm.
I've been on it 3 years now. I no longer need to use bifocals. And you notice I'm not wearing my glasses now. It used to be I couldn't see somebody sitting next to me clearly. And now if I put my glasses on, you'd be blurry, but I need them to see a street sign when I'm driving. So that
Right.
was a big thing. Then other things, little things like my gray eyebrows turned brown again.
Mhm.
And then I noticed the longer I stayed on it, because there's a whole thing about a month for every decade. And I
Mhm.
started noticing different things would in my body would remind me, oh, I had it in my 20s or my 30s. So I had some really horrible skin issues for a while. And and all of a sudden I had some of those again. Now, eh, I think somebody who doesn't or isn't in healthcare wouldn't understand this, but sometimes with skin issues, like you have a facial, you get a little breakout before it improves. I'm just
Mhm.
going to say that it did get a little worse, but now the results of my hands and feet, I mean, they went from cracked and bleeding to there's not a mark on them, right?
Mhm.
Wow.
So all of my skin started to improve. I told you my hair color got darker. I went from needing to color my hair every, oh, I don't know, 6 weeks. I now go 12 weeks. Um,
Wow.
like, like I'm on it 3 years now. I'm not stopping. And now I've added new
Right.
things. Like when my
Mhm.
skin started a problem, I brought in something else and added to my overall picture. I had a lot of gut issues when I was younger. So I did
Mhm.
6. Well, I have to tell you, my gut's doing great now. Um, Scarring. I've had 17 abdominal surgeries. One goes from the bottom of my breastbone to my belly button.
Mm.
It was thick and chelated. All of my scars now I've added, let's see, I added ion, glutathione. My scars are flat and smooth, and where they were terribly discolored before, they're now, um, depending upon the scar, more even and the right. skin tone. Um,
Mhm.
so the results were just, mind blowing. And I navigated through my recovery better with the assistance of the patches. And
Mhm.
I'm really big on healthcare. I'm a pretty all natural person. And so, I always talk about multidisciplinary approach for recovery.
Hmm.
But with the patches, I would say that not only are they an excellent standalone support towards your health and well-being, but certainly if I had issues and I don't have them anymore.
It's
And
wonderful.
so, I'm sold, and I continue to use them, and I hope to continue to feel as great as I do now.
Great. That is fantastic. Uh, so how long have you, you talked about what I guess they call retracing, when your body it goes back to the time that you were sick and you get those symptoms again. So how long did it take you to get over that, where you had
Well,
the
it
skin?
depends. I understand what you're saying, and I'd have to say it was different depending upon what decade I was in. You know,
Right.
so, for instance, the skin issues were really a problem for me. And
Mhm.
so, they manifested again. I knew that the more traditional approach sort of puts it in, I don't know, hibernation, but it's still.
Mhm.
Right.
And then, so that took probably 8, 9, 10 months. But I went from a person who had psoriasis so bad my feet were split and the
Mhm.
skin would peel off to they're completely fine. There's nothing.
Mhm.
So that took a while. My
Hmm.
eyebrows, I don't know what happened. Boom, that was done. Um, my hand, it was quite deformed before I could open it and get it in the camera, right? I was stuck like this with my hand. Let me get it. I can't get the angle, but I
Right.
literally could not open my hand. It wouldn't go flat in the palm. Now it's just a little off, but opened up. So,
Mhm.
um, it depends, what I was dealing with. And, I just kept at it. And then that would resolve, and then something else would present, and that would resolve. And so I just kept at it for a while there. Then I got, fatigued, and I introduced X49. I thought, oh, I'll never need that. Now I appear to have muscle mass where I didn't
Mhm.
really have that before. And I'm not like a real big exercise nut, but what I'm doing is making a difference. Where what I
Mhm.
did before and not on the patch didn't seem to be making those differences. So
Wow.
I'm just going to continue.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're like me. I tell everybody you couldn't sue me and make me get off the patches. There's no way. You
No.
know, I just recently, you've probably seen my testimony. A lot of people shared it, but just recently, talking about eyesight, I'm 77 years old. Just recently went to my ophthalmologist, and one eye was better than it was the last time, and the other eye, they just had to tweak it just a little bit on the prescription. She says, you really don't need a prescription. And she was totally shocked. But what was even better, I've been a diabetic for quite some time, and she said, for the first time, they did not see any diabetes in my eyes at all.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So I have to tell you another aspect that I've been exploring with, and I know you've done or the company has done some research on this, but um, I have a child who was vaccine injured, and to get her to recovery um, or a level of functioning recovery, one of the things you look at is the chemical makeup of the body.
Mhm.
Um, when you look at things like glutathione, which is so important for brain and brain development, and you look at
Mhm.
the gut issues, right? All of the children on the spectrum have gut issues. That's part of the immune system not working right. I don't know if you know that, your gut is your second brain, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yes.
other organ of the body with the same identical chemical makeup. Brains off, guts off, brains off. So for some of my families, I'm now recommending they consider patches for, what it can do for the brain, for the gut, to improve functioning. And some families are getting great results.
It's
That's
wonderful.
right.
Wonderful.
Well, I know you're under time constraints, and I thank you so much for honoring us with your time
You're most
and
welcome.
sharing your testimony. I feel like we have a moral obligation to tell everybody we can about these patches, for what they've done for you, what they've done for me and my wife, and so many other people. Thank you so much, and you can stay warm up there in Wisconsin.
We'll
Okay.
try. We'll try. Thank you very
All
much for
right.
your time.
Thank you.